Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today's video is a plan with me for the week of October 20th through the 26th using this kit called Charmed from Saucy Stickers Co. with the full boxes foiled in rose gold, which I believe I've already flipped through them. Yeah. And then I picked up this foiled sampler for shadows from Dash of Sun in rose gold, just so I had a few more rose gold pieces to work with. And I end up not using anything from that Wicked journaling kit. I believe this collection was available in silver or rose gold. And as much as my following heart would have wanted to go with silver, I felt like rose gold was like a mood. I don't know, it just felt right. And I picked up this decorative collection in its entirety. I don't normally pick up the entirety of it. I usually get the deco bundle and the floral bundle if I particularly enjoy the florals. Because I wanted to really use the monthly specific page. I forget what she calls it, but it's no longer in her current format. I really wanted to do something with this October script thingy. Well, it is, I guess, a script, but I was seeing some cool. I wanted to do something with it. Originally, I was thinking maybe across the page, but I have this weirdness with things going like fully across the page in a singular row. And the other vision, the clearest vision I had was the letters falling down the sidebar. And I wanted to use I forget which pattern this is, but I feel like it's 3. I wanted to use the pattern because this is the galaxy looking pattern, because I really wanted to lean more into the nighttime feel of this collection rather than I know one of the other patterns was like the pink pattern that's in this washi, and the other one was like a plaid pattern. So I really wanted to lean into the night skyness of it all. So my concept was having like the word October, my month call out October, spilling down the sidebar. And I feel like I've achieved the desired look about 95%. I haven't gotten there yet, but you're gonna see what I mean in about like maybe a minute or so. Because I used the clear backing to kind of get my spacing, and then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to lay along the bottom. I could have gone with the floral, but I think I was going to go with the floral in the top. So I was like, let me make use of this deco, right? I got this deco, let's use it. And then I wanted to do like the fashion doll treatment where I put a full box there. And this is going to sound really funny, coming from me who doesn't really care for the foiled floral full boxes. But I didn't have any. I think with the move to 6 full boxes, we've lost the floral full boxes, which like if I was doing an old school type of spread, I wouldn't have really cared for those boxes, but with my tilted boxes and with the layering that I usually do, those boxes are a good like backdrop element, because I don't feel like I'm wasting a decorative full box. So, yes, I remember now. So originally, when I laid this castle down, I was flipping through because I was like, I feel like I saw a moon somewhere, but I couldn't find it for the longest time. And then so I was like, I can't find this dang moon. I don't have any moon deco. So I ended up pulling a swatch in, and as I was, I don't know, flipping through the pages again, I was like, I knew there was a moon. Here's the moon. Um, but pulling up a swatch is rather difficult. You usually end up ruining the swatch. So I was like, all right, we got to pivot and figure out how we're going to how we're going to incorporate this moon, because I still really wanted to use it. So I was like, well, we pivot, we adjust. We're just going to throw it in the sidebar. So it's not fully what I had envisioned. And I end up covering up quite a few of those bats, which I would have loved to not have to cover up, but choices were already made. And then here's where I think I wish I had stopped myself, because I was like, I feel like these letters are kind of getting lost. Okay, I honestly, it's just like the O and the C that got lost. Like you couldn't. It was getting kind of hard to see their edges. I don't know. And I was like, well, I can't really just do the O. I kind of have to do all the letters. So I'm going to line all of the letters. And I'm like, I don't think it looks as bad on camera. And again, that's not like it looks terrible, but I'm like, I feel like it looks better before I line them. But what's done is done. Um, I can't really pull up the letters, not without really ripping something or having the evidence of me lining this the stickers very obvious. So I was like, you know what, it's a lesson learned. um Next time we do something interesting with like Scrabble letters or anything like that, we're not going to line them. We're just gonna deal, or figure out another way to have that element stand out a little bit more. Just because like we don't really have smaller kind of corner liners, which makes sense. Like, why would you make something very specific to this size? um so yeah, that's the one thing I really wish I could change about this spread. um is is me lining those lining those letters, because I feel like that was my downfall. So here, instead of going straight to my center bridge, which is what I thought I was gonna do, um I went to the day cover area just to, I don't know, I guess I was just doing some different things. Um feeling like switching it up. Or maybe I just didn't, you know what? Yeah, I'm just thinking, I don't know if I really knew what I wanted my center bridge to look like yet. Therefore, I was like, let me delay this and go to somewhere else that I know what I want it to look like. Or actually, let me rephrase that. Normally my day cover area is a little more spontaneous. It's kind of like, all right, how's the rest of this spread shaping up? So like, how do I want this to look? It kind of it it kind of designs itself based on how the rest of the spread is. Um, Whereas I like to have a kind of clear idea for my center bridge. So I think that's probably why I just jumped over here. I was like, well, however this turns out, I know I'm gonna like it inevitably. So let's just jump up here. And I went in with the initials um for the days of the week, rather than pulling in uh like full foiled scripts or whatnot. Um, I've been finding that if I have them at hand, like the non-foiled versions, um, it's nice to have a break from the foiled versions, uh, for that reason. So I really do. Like at first I didn't really understand like the days of the week page, but now I get it, because sometimes you just need a little bit of a break, and some spreads call for non-foiled days of the weeks. So there's that in my center bridge, which I believe this is a different session. For my center bridge, I recalled a spread. I think it was a Starlight paper spread in May. I think this was the last time I did it, where I did two full boxes in the center. And I wanted to kind of revisit that idea. Um, I just wanted to do something different than the previous center bridges, because I feel like some of my center bridges have generally speaking been a full box plus a larger scene, a full box plus a smaller composition that I make. So I wanted to do something with two full boxes. And I remember like, don't split like the full box itself. So um kind of designing this bridge around having like maybe just a little bit of the full box poking in to the area that would split the middle of the spread, um and just keeping that in mind. um and then that's kind of me lining up my boxes like I usually do. I just find that with full boxes, I do like having that definition. And then here's me looking at this space and trying to see if there's any way to kind of even it out or just fill in that gap there. Um and now for the rest, I know I put a few boxes in line with the column. This was just one of those spreads where I kind of really thought about it. And then it looks like I'll be able to use all of. How did I use all of my full Oh, there's only 6 full boxes, that's why. I was like, "How did I use all of my full boxes for this spread?" There's only 6 of them, and, making the decisions on actually, the decision on what goes in the column is more contingent on what boxes I want to stack next to each other. Um, and I was trying to jerry-rig in this, it was the tree with the ghost, I believe it was, and it just wasn't jiving. I couldn't figure it out for the base, at least. I was like, maybe I'll figure out how to do it for the day by day, but right now I couldn't figure out how to get this tree piece in because I really wanted to use it. But I wasn't able to. So um yeah, that's kind of really it for the base. It's just like a lot of stuff I normally do. This is the first of 2 Halloween kits. Just because I explained it in the kit lineup. I only wanted to do 1 Halloween kit, and I had my heart set on doing this one as the Halloween kit. Um, but somehow Chelsea always knocks it out of the park with her all Halloween kits. So I'm like, all right, we're using 2 Halloween kits this week. And I think the reason I pick this one for not Halloween week is because the spread prior to this was in silver. And I try not to have too many of the same foil color next to each other. Sometimes it's inevitable. Um, but I really like to not repeat a foil color multiple consecutive weeks in a row. Um, and I felt like this spread was a little more playful. Like this collection was a little more playful, which fit this week a little bit better, in my opinion, because this was the week of Bub's birthday. But not that I could have picked a birthday kit, I guess, but I didn't really. I really wanted to use this collection, realistically. So I felt this one kind of fit like the energy of the week I anticipated having. Actually, no, I picked it after. Well, this one kind of was just solid. The week I was anticipating to have, um, better than the Dash of Sun Shadows kit, which just to me is like it just that one felt too Halloween for me to like move. So that's kind of the reasoning for why this is here. Other than, I just wanted to use it. um so on to the day by day. Um, Monday, 16 weeks pregnant. I had a coffee Monday. I must have had leftover Chinese for lunch. Did I get Chinese for lunch? Must have been leftovers because I don't have a Chinese place near me. Um, and then Bub was not feeling well. Actually, we weren't surprised that he wasn't feeling well because I think he was starting to. Yeah, you know how toddlers, kids are. They just get sick all the time. And he doesn't even go to daycare. But we were not surprised that after the party he like actually got sick. So he wasn't feeling well that night. Um on Tuesday was a dumpster fire. Actually, I'm not even there for the day by day. I didn't have a lot that I wanted to mark this week. Weirdly, um weirdly enough. And then I found that I had a lot of open space in the spread, so I was trying to accommodate that with more kind of scenes, um, because I didn't have a lot to mark. Again, normally I write like 3 to 4 things, and some days only have 3 things, which I can stretch out, but sometimes I'm like, I needed more things. So Tuesday was a dumpster fire work day, and I'm trying to see if I can see why. And I do not recall off the top of my head why. Oh, no, we're not going to talk about that. I think I know why. I can't say for sure. And then Bub played Mario Kart. Did we play Mario Kart when we got home? We must have. It's the only reason I can think of. Wednesday, the 22nd, was Bub's actual birthday. And I also had my 16-week prenatal appointment this day. So I actually, was it in the morning and then I went to work? I believe I did actually go to work. That's going to come up later where I'm like, I'm not going to work. There's no parking. That's going to come up later. So of course he opened a majority of his presents at his birthday party, but we held on to our present for him until his actual birthday. So he had something to open on his actual birthday. My mom also came over with a little bit of cake for him, and then we played with his monster truck launcher and had birthday cake for his birthday on the 23rd, Thursday. Bub had a doctor's appointment, his 3-year annual. Um, and then I had a whole lot of meetings this day. Why did I have so many meetings? This was, oh, I don't think I've touched on it. This was during, so there was a 3-ish week period where my supervisor was out. And then my boss had already left, as in his last day was like the week before. The week before that, actually, it's 2 weeks ago. So chain of command, chain of command meant that I was the big boss, and um, my title is a lead. I don't have, I technically do not have any management responsibilities as part of my title. Um, but we needed someone in the interim, and naturally that ended up being me. So I had a whole lot of meetings, and I remembered this period of just wanting those 3 weeks to be done and over with, because I was like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, is it a goal eventually? Maybe. I do not know if I'm cut out for manager work, but I did not sign up for that during this period of time. And I mean, I already knew that she was going to be gone for 3 weeks, but I knew that before I got pregnant. And dealing with the toddler boss, being a boss at work, having to directly respond to danger, not danger, to fires. This is what I like to call them, to problems, and then reporting up to my upper management, and being pregnant was not a fun time. It's probably, I remember this time it was not fun. So I had a lot of meetings that day, probably to talk about a lot of things. But I ended the night with some happy mail from Dash's son. this was probably Bow to Full Rain. Or was it Shadows? It might have been Shadows. One of those two. One of those two. On Friday, I had a Dunkin' run. I was responsible for dinner that night, and normally Friday's commute is not that bad, but I don't know what's going on. But I had a terrible commute to grab our McDonald's dinner. Sometimes you just gotta have a good old McDonald's. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not being responsible anymore. I'm just gonna have finished the night with some planning time. Not doing any more responsible things. I'm just tired. I just need to end of the week with not doing anything important. Well, this is important, just not like I needed to do something fun and creative. Let me say it that way. On Saturday we had a grocery run. Oh, right. We were supposed to have so the reason Bub's birthday party was on the 19th and not the 26th was that we had a prior engagement on the 26th, but things came up. Like we were supposed to be part of a potluck. Things came up, the potluck got moved, but we were like, you know what, we'll still make the chili for the potluck anyway. It'll be fun. We haven't made chili in a while, so we made chili just to have on hand. And then we played with this like air pressure rocket where you like stomp on a pedal and it shoots the rocket up into the sky. One ended up at my mom's house, so we had to get another one for our house. So we played with the rocket that night. On Sunday, we ended up still at my family's because we didn't carve the pumpkins that we meant to carve the last week. So we went up to my parents' place to carve the pumpkins. And actually, it was always the plan to do the gender reveal cake. When did I pick up the cake? I picked up the cake the day before, the day of. Um, so we did a gender reveal for my family. They had the cake that we cut into, and I shared that on Instagram. If you were curious about that, it is a little boy, so 2 boys. But yeah, that is the spread. Again, I wish I didn't line the October, but that's okay. You know, we make mistakes and we learn from them. I don't think it looks terrible. I just think it looked better before. These are the kit leftovers. Still quite a bit. This is no longer Rebecca's format. So if you pick up a kit, it will look slightly different. Not too terribly different, but you know, still different. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a little like. Leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below, and I would be so happy if you joined my little channel by subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!